lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Oh, look at that.
We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon.
Oh, you know what? I could keep it this way, but y'all don't have to see me that way. Let me turn you guys around here on. Did I forget my tools? Flip camera. Okay. I forgot my tools. Hey, y'all, over here on TikTok. And good evening to you all over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I've taken off my glasses because they had a glare and I didn't like seeing that. But I want to welcome you all in today. Today is Monday. What is it? December 15th, 2025. And I was feeling a bit conflicted. That's the word I'm going to use. Instead of saying what I really want to say, just feeling, working in the environment, in the community of desperate people, homeless veterans. I know because I was a homeless veteran, female veteran, and I was desperate for help, desperate for resources, desperate for someone to hear me and can understand what's happening and can help get me out of those situations. And that's what's happening. That's why we have a lot of homeless veterans, because we don't have enough people in our community who can stand in the gap of the veteran being serviced better than what he or she is. I've seen it for over 22 years, including my own years of not being serviced by service providers, to put it simply. And how do you rectify that? How can the community get better at serving homeless veterans, especially the community that says, well, we shouldn't have homeless veterans, or the community that says, what is the government doing about homeless veterans? And I'm going to answer both of those questions. I love to answer those questions. I love talking about this subject, homeless veterans and solutions. As a realtor, right? I've been a realtor since 1996. And I found the homeless veterans community in 2007. I believe I housed my first homeless veteran. I got to look at the letters, but I believe that was 2005. And it's 2025. And nothing has changed. I'm still talking to homeless veterans. I had to update the map. All right, this is as of December 2025. And there are, I believe, 38 states on this map already. And when I first started putting the pings on the map of all the states, is when I spoke to my first homeless veteran. Um, but Las Vegas, then Hawaii, then South Carolina, then I mean, just everywhere. Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, California, Florida. I mean, look at the map. So, and then I said, let me go ahead and release these books and start talking about these books of all the years that I've been housing homeless veterans. I put that information in books because all these years I haven't been talking about this to anybody. It's too much to talk about and too much to try to sit down and help you understand everything that's in my head of all these 22 plus years. Housing homeless people, homeless veterans specifically. When I first started housing homeless, they were homeless emancipated youth. And the emancipated youth are the ones who were never adopted by their foster parents, but they still had funding. And this is what I want you all to write down. When you're watching me, you really need to take notes because I don't come on here just to be talking. I love to talk, but I love to talk about things that are relevant. So these emancipated youth were still eligible for funding because they were the ones who went through a program. And that's how the organization received its funding, its continuation of funding for these youths. Remember that movie? He said, "What did you say, youths?" But anyway, for the emancipated youth. So the foster parents didn't adopt them, so they still had to live somewhere. But where are they going to live at 18? Where are they going to live? Really, they weren't adopted. They didn't have any family. So if they didn't go through a program and they didn't have anywhere to live, so now you have all these emancipated youth homeless, and that's another population that needs serving. So this organization here, and I serve two organizations here in the Chicagoland area. One of them is Lawrence Hall Youth Services. And as long as those young adults, because it's hard, I don't know what to say, youths or youths, young adults were in school, which their education was being paid for under this program. Their apartment was being paid for under this program. And the service provider, being Lawrence Hall Youth Services, had the lease in their name. So they leased up two tiers, two rows, the first 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 apartments like that for the whole year. Because as children, as young adults are being ending their cycle of being a foster child, now they're coming into their young adult years, and they get an apartment provided they go to school and their education is paid for, their apartment is paid for, and all of their furniture and furnishings and utilities, everything is paid for, and they have to stay in school and they have to maintain a part-time job, and they have to be in the program that the program offers, workshops and things, and they're programs. There's no other way for me to say it. And that's how I rented up a whole lot of units before I started renting to seniors. Seniors, they got into a different building. This building had an elevator and the first floor where they can just roll into. So seniors, the seniors, they really had their Social Security. That's basically all they had. And back in the day, those apartments were $500 and $750, which they could afford on their Social Security. Now those apartments are too much. They can't even afford on their Social Security. Then I met a senior who was in a wheelchair and the rent was being paid by an organization. I'm like, okay. I met the director and went there to speak. Oh, I can show you that. Hold on. That's in a book. That's in this book right here. The social work book, Social Work and Case Managers. So this organization pays for, it's called Access Living. And it's a couple letters in this book right here that talks to you about my role as a community realtor. And really, that's what I was operating as a realtor. And then as an advocate, as I began to see how the community, and when I say the community, I mean realtors and investors, property managers. That's the community I'm speaking of. So when you're looking to house people, you're looking to put them someplace to live, right? But if you don't have any place for them to live, then that's opposition. How are you going to house these people if the community is saying no? The community is opposing somebody's livelihood by saying, no, you can't move here. We don't have room for you at the inn. We don't care what you have. We don't care if your money is guaranteed by the government. No, we really don't. You may be a really bad veteran while you're homeless. Yeah, I get a lot of that. Well, not anymore. That was one of the solutions that I had to come up with quickly, is how do I best serve these homeless people? And then how do I best serve these homeless veterans? If the community that is in place to help house people, period, in rentals, well, that's what I was concerned with for many, many years. But they're standing in the way. But you've got available units and you're saying no to these people. You're opposition. So what do you do when there's opposition? I'll tell you what I did. I'm a realtor, remember? And it also turned me into an advocate, because now I have to stand up for those who are voiceless at this time. You have veterans who don't know how do they know how to find an apartment? Social workers, how do they know? I've worked with so many social workers at the Jesse Brown VA, at Hines VA, at the vet centers, at Um, where else? Social workers. Oh, at the organizations, they didn't know how to find apartments. I've got some letters in this book from the VA social workers. They're in this book. So when you get this book, you can read these letters. This is the Collaborative Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans, case managers, social workers, and human care professionals. I trained social workers who had just graduated and got their social work license and got the job at the VA. And you never know where they're going to put you as a social worker. You just got to come prepared to learn and learn fast. And in this case, they had to learn very fast because thousands upon thousands of homeless veterans were receiving Section 8 vouchers, HUD-VASH vouchers. That was in 2007, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I mean, they just kept coming. They never stopped. They never stopped. 16, 17, and like Yvette, they told me, Section 8 told me that they're going up on my voucher on my portion to $1,000, $1,200. I said, you must be 100% now. Yeah, that's why I'm calling you, because now I want to buy a house. This is the book for that. Okay, third edition, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. I'm like, yeah, you've come to enough workshops. You've come to at least 2 years worth of workshops at the VA or at the VetMentors, because I was conducting those at the VA and the VetMentors. So I think you're ready. Let me go ahead and here are the lenders that you met, because I remember you being at all 3 of those workshops and you met all 3 of those lenders. You want to talk to all 3 of them, or you have a favorite? Oh, good. You got pre-approved. Wonderful. All right. Well, here's our meeting. This is our conversation, and let's go get it. I mean, a lot goes on in that conversation, but you should get the gist. There isn't hardly any opposition beyond the usual opposition when you're looking to buy a house. And that is too many offers, multiple offers. So you can't say, well, let them know, even let them know I'm a veteran. Well, that doesn't make it any better. Because now everybody you got a longer time frame, because now you have an additional inspection. Well, that's not an inspection, it's an appraisal. And it has to be done. What are you talking about? So, they don't even have to put money down. Why do I have to give them a seller credit? What? We're negotiating. But when it's multiple offers like that, we have to be prepared to do more than enough. And we have been very successful over the years in not only renting to before I even started selling, over 5,000 homeless veterans. And then a lot of those veterans came back with their 100% service connection. They came back with pension. They came back with a degree and a job and excellent credit. So working in the community of veterans, homeless veterans, helping them through their transition, however you want to do that, if you want to be an advocate, I got books on everything that I'm talking about. Okay. If you want to be an advocate, then I suggest you get the book Finding Home. And all of my books are in my bio. So you can go to my bio and click and you can read the descriptions of every book. And my books are like encyclopedias. You can keep them, they're pretty, they're full of information. But they don't have the same thing twice. Just like our encyclopedias, they went from A to B to C and D, E, F. That's how my books are. They're not one is going to teach you everything that I know in 22 years. If you say, Yvette, I want to learn and do everything you do, then you have to get all the books. And if you are someone, I sold that book, but I did order 2 more. But I can show you guys my bookmark. I got to turn my back one moment. Okay, so this book, actually, I can show y'all over here and over here on YouTube and everybody, I can show y'all right here. So this book right here came out. I wrote it back in March of 2025, and I released it on Amazon September 29th. And I wrote this book because I hear a lot of people say, and this is a guide to veteran shared living models. You get about 7, 8 models in this book. And it came out number 1. Like, okay, y'all see your girl. It came out number 1 on the United States Military Veterans History category on Amazon, and number 1 new releases. So if you are someone who says, even I want to be the provider of veterans housing, okay, well, get the book and read the book. Because let me tell you like this, you want to be a provider of veterans housing. It's not just housing. Nothing is just that simple when you are working in this community of caring for veterans, especially those homeless veterans. I talk about programs, and this book right here that I just showed you, this one right here, it has programs, because you can't just do veterans housing without offering a program. And getting government funding. I'm just saying, that's where the money comes from the government funding. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you know I like to show and tell. So when you say we shouldn't have homeless veterans, or this is the question we're going to talk about for a couple minutes, well, what is the government doing about it? And I'm like, what? You don't know nothing, do you? Until now. So what the government did, and what the government has been doing all these years that I've been housing homeless veterans, is awarding funding to organizations. Yeah. Yes. That's how, that's what the government is doing. And it has been doing that for years to pay the housing for these homeless veterans. So when you ask me, well, what's the government doing? Well, they put a whole lot of money in the community. My question to you is, what are you doing? You say you want to house homeless veterans, but you don't even know where the money is. That's the problem. And I have seen so many people come to me on the back end. I got the house already ready. I got the beds. I got the this. I got the that. It's all I'm missing are the people. Well, that's because you did it in reverse. This isn't a field of dreams. You build it, they will come. Who are you? Who are you? You build it, they will come. You build I'm building veterans housing. As soon as I build it, all the homeless veterans are going to come and knock on my door. They're going to come rushing in. What have you established? And who have you established it with? In order for you to know, they want you as a provider. I'm just asking the question that a lot of people are failing to ask themselves before they just jump into creating veterans housing. And then you want to contact me and say, oh, I keep calling the VA and they won't call me back. Oh, can you just send me a POC? I am the POC. You go get the book. Go get the book and learn something today. And when you email me, just know I'm going to email you a link to pay. You want consultation services because you have created veterans housing and now you don't have anybody in there. You have to learn. Go buy the book and read it. I put everything in that book. Everything is in that book. Then I also have a private group where it's going to be much better in 2026. This is the building stages for my whole revamp of my company, VetMentors, LLC, and VetMentors Publishing. So once you buy a book and learn, but once you order and buy the book, let me know, and then I will invite you to my private group. Because you're not just going to come to my email and say, hey, can you help me with this? Yeah, here's the link to pay me. Really? Thank you. Yeah, stop doing that. I know I look like your neighbor, your cousin, your sister. Don't do that though. I'm a businesswoman and you want to do business to make money. So why do you ask me for stuff for free? Yeah, we don't do business like that over here. All right. Okay. There you have it. I can put on my glasses now to see any comments that there may be. Yeah, I know today was a bit different than previous days. Hey, sis, I have some dishes I'm putting together to give away. Oh, good. You want to take them to the Veterans Closet over there in Park Forest? Because they can always use those dishes. You know, I was the vice chairman of the Veterans Commission in the village of Park Forest for 5 years, from 2020 to 2025. And we spearheaded that Veterans Closet, Camille and I. She said, Yvette, why do you let me, like I had something to do with it. Why do you let these homeless veterans move in here with no furniture and furnishings? Oh, sure, I was intended, or go volunteer. I'm not over there anymore. That was in 2015 to 2020 is when I was the vice chairman of the Veterans Commission in the village of Park Forest. But they still need all that. I'm sure they could use some volunteers. Yeah. Those were some wonderful days. Oh, let me go back and tell y'all about this money in the community when people say, what is the government doing about homeless veterans? So first of all, the HUD awards the VA and HUD. So first, the veteran goes to the VA to do an intake. And if that intake says, yeah, you know what, you qualify for receiving HUD-VASH. And then the veteran goes to HUD and they have a case manager over there too, who manages the process of the paperwork and they say, okay, here's the issuance of your HUD-VASH voucher, your Section 8 voucher. And they're like, oh, good. Oh, I can get housed now. Hallelujah. And they go to they're like, wait a minute. Now, how do I find an apartment? Who's to help me find an apartment? So the VA might have a housing fair. They do every, I guess, look it up because I don't know when they have it anymore. I used to, that's a long time ago for me. I don't want to brag nor boast, but I did start those housing fairs and I continue to do them to this day. But go there and contact your social worker at the VA and let your social worker know, hey, I need some help finding an apartment. And hopefully that social worker at the VA does more than just give you a list of units or a list of property owners who might say yes, but then don't even contact you back. That's a whole nother training that's in this book right here. Hold on a second. That's in the green book, Innovative Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans. No, this one is Collaborative Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans, for case workers, social workers, case managers, human care professionals, and first responders. So you can stop allowing these veterans to walk out of your office homeless without having a plan for them. That's what all of this is, planning and programming. If you have a plan while you're working within a program, you're working in a program, right? You have HUD-VASH, so you're working in that program. But now you have to have a plan to help that veteran who has the voucher. What's the plan, social worker? Exactly. Just give the veteran the paper and say, okay, here, go find some place to live. And if I hear of anything, I'll email you. So, or I'll call you, because some of the social workers do call the veterans. And then they'll say, hey, this is James Boone. I got your number from my social worker at the VA. So they do that, some of them. Oh, but some of this, oh my God, it's just so much. It's so much. And it just consumes my brain. And that's why I wrote all this stuff down in books, because I had to get it out. It's so much for y'all to learn to help these homeless veterans in the community, but it's doable. It's doable, but you just got to take yourself back to college, back to school. And my books aren't even hard to read, because I always think, write it for people to understand. Don't be using all those big words and the acronyms. You'll know what they are because I spell them out in the book. But this is my library series. Hold on. That you can find. Hold on. One moment, please. I'm getting them all together. And I'm missing one because this lady said, oh, Yvette, I can't wait. So this is my library series from the 3rd edition, Veterans Home Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. This is for the veterans who say, I've never used my VA loan. How does that work? This is that book. This is for the family member of the veteran who says, you know what? My husband, my spouse can get a VA loan, but they don't know how. Get this easy to read book. And it's a guide for you. So that's that book. And this is the 3rd edition, like I said. So I have 1st and 2nd as well. Anything you want to learn, pick up a book. If you really want to learn it, I suggest you go get one of my books. Just go to the bio and read what they're all about. It's very difficult for me to talk about it in its entirety. It's too much for me to just talk about. That's why I wrote this book, A Realtor's Blueprint A realtor's blueprint, the veteran's path to home. First, the realtor has to understand the veteran's path. What does the veteran go through that you need to know that you can help this veteran get through? So they're going from homelessness to home ownership. And as a realtor, you can take them there. But you got to learn to know what to do. And that's in this book right here. And that's me on the back. That's me. The steps that it took me, that I take these veterans in, that they're, whatever it is they're coming, it's just deep. It's really deep. But it's doable. It's like anything. You want to learn something, you have to find your tool to learn. And because my books are not on a movie screen, they're in paper or flip. We're doing some flip books. And that's it for that. You are a social worker or a case manager, I suggest you get this. I've got some case studies in this book right here of social workers, and also one of the social workers was a lot of social worker letters in this book, but one in particular is of one of our former homeless veterans who was in a wheelchair, who lived in a U-Haul facility for 11 months until I got him housed in a condominium downtown Chicago. That's the case study in this book. And the social worker also wrote a letter depicting the scenario. Where's it's right here. Hold on. Right here. So when you get this book, read the letters. Okay. Oh, I can't make this up. I can't even make this up. I was telling somebody last week, I don't know if it was on a live or not, but I was telling somebody last week that I housed one veteran 4 times. One veteran 4 times. He kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to jail. I'm like, man, what you do now? Oh, Yvette. But when he got out, his social worker was right there on the phone. Yvette, can you? I'm like, of course I can. And I did. And he went back. I'm like, and then he came back out, and his social worker called and said, Yvette, you won't believe this. I said, what? He said, so-and-so needs an apartment. I'm like, what happened? He went to jail. And now he's back. I'm like, oh, okay. Got him housed again. And then it happened again. And this time I was recovering from COVID. So I was working on the phone, on text and email. So I emailed or text one of my investors and said, hey, I have a veteran with a 1-bedroom voucher. What do you have? Oh, Yvette, good. I'm so glad. And got him housed again. So let me tell y'all something about how that works, right? So these vouchers, and you can, I always encourage people to read, because I'm not, I like to talk. I don't like to be reading to grown folks. So go on va.gov and download this benefits book so you can learn what veterans benefits are, and then learn how they are to be used. So on page 67, it talks about HUD-VASH and who gets HUD-VASH and the laws pertaining around HUD-VASH and the protections that pertain to HUD-VASH. So I was able to get him housed 4 times, even though he had been convicted. Well, I don't even know if he was convicted. I mean, it was some stupid stuff. Being in the hood, being in the neighborhood, and just living in the neighborhood, you run into stupid stuff and get caught. But in order to have a voucher, you cannot have any violent crimes or any of those, the SA crimes. Even though, this is another case, even though I did house a veteran who had one of those essays on him and he had a voucher. And the reason he had the voucher is that that essay was not the essay where you couldn't get a voucher. And that essay was put on him by, I mean, it was all a legal thing, but he still got the voucher and I still got him housed. So what I'm saying is sometimes it doesn't have to be difficult when you know how to use the resources that are in our community to help house homeless veterans. It doesn't have to be difficult at all because these are federal benefits. These are state benefits. This is funding. Where's my green money folder? Here it is. This is funding that has been put in our community to help combat veterans' homelessness. For instance, I already told you about HUD-VASH. So this is your Section 8 voucher for homeless veterans, which offsets the burden of rent that the veteran would have had to pay if they didn't have that subsidy. Then you have over $900 million in our community specifically for housing and housing counseling, and then other programs that fall in these categories of healthcare, financial planning services, childcare, legal assistance, and transportation. So, money that's in our community, let me put on my glasses so I could tell you. One moment. All right, let's look at Volunteers of America in Chesapeake, Virginia. They received $2,099,923. That's a lot of money, right? But what do they use that money for? Even it says housing and housing assistance and other services that they could use it for. And then I've got another $84 million right here. So this right here is $818 million. And then the second batch of money is $84 million that the Veterans Department of Veteran Affairs, the Department of Veteran Affairs, $818 million in grants to 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. This money is already circulating in our community. And my only suggestion to those who say that I want to do veterans housing, then get my book. Don't DM me and ask me, hey, can you email me that list? Get my book, because you still won't even know how to use that list. Get my book, read my book, learn something today. And then I will invite you to my private group where I share so much more. Get the book. I had one girl tell me, I won't even read it. Can you just tell me what's in it? No. People, no. Mm-mm. I read my scripture earlier. Let me get my daily scripture book. And I've got to do one more thing before I do two more things. And then I can do the last thing I need to do. Here it is. So this is the word for today. And I like reading this. I just want to know, some things about God's word and how it actually comforts me to know God's word, because otherwise I'm just thinking what's in my mind. What guru am I listening to give me their word? Everybody has their own um, ideologies, and I don't buy into everybody's ideology, because if I did, I wouldn't be sitting here talking about housing homeless veterans and solutions and bringing you all into the conversation. How can I continue this work? So I like reading God's word to give me. And then there was another one I read about the lamp under my feet. Yes, but anyway, this is it. I've been housing homeless veterans over 22 years. And I read this the other day. First of all, the heading is "Be careful to obey all the law." And I came down here and it said, do everything written, then you will be successful. Okay, that's wonderful. Talent may take you to a higher level of success, but without character, you won't be able to handle the pressures that accompany success. That's why it's so important to live by the principles of God's word. A lot of great things are happening to me in this community. A lot of great things, a lot of great accomplishments and accolades about those accomplishments. And I guess to the outsider it may look like, yeah, that is successful. But the successful part for me is not the trophies and all of this. It's the impact and the awareness. That's what I strive most for, not the accolades. I've already, they're going to give me that anyway because of the work that I've done to get them and the work that I continue to do. My main concern is how is this all impacting our community? By me coming on here, sharing all the publications of the information that I've fostered over all of these years in secrecy outside of the general public. Diabolical. I mean, I didn't even think y'all even cared. I was at the VA and all the veterans, homeless, go see Yvette. They're all there. And I just found a way. And now I'm in the public eye. What are y'all going to do? We need help. All of those pegs up there, that's real nice, right? But a lot of those pegs represent a homeless veteran. Represents a homeless veteran. And then the advocates came when I started talking about my books. Oh, how can I help? I want to help. Then get a book and read it so you can be in position to help. But before any advocate, you know what I might start doing is putting a different color for the advocate, a different color for the homeless veteran, and then a different color for the advocate. And those are the ones who buy a book. You are an advocate, but you don't get a certificate until you show me what you've done. So I got one certificate that needs to go out, and that's to Captain Africa Hall. She said, did I bring it up here? I think let me see. Go watch the video of us live on YouTube last week. Let me see if I put it up here, what she said. She said, Yvette, I should have picked this book up sooner. I'm like, trying to tell you. Oh, I think this is it. I could read it. Let me put on my glasses so I can see. Hold on. Yep, this is it. This is what she said. She said, must-have guide for anyone starting a veteran's transitional home. Hold on, let me turn this around. Hope y'all can see that. I'm going to just read it. I wish I would have listened sooner. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Let me make it bigger for TikTok. Okay. Can y'all see that? Hold on. Don't go away. Let me turn this around so y'all can see that. Thanks for sticking around. Flip camera. Okay. All right. Okay. So I wish I would have listened sooner and purchased this book. It would have saved me so many headaches when I first began navigating how to properly structure a transitional home. Yvette breaks everything down step by step, from identifying the different types of housing models to understanding exactly who you want to serve and how to set your program up the right way from the start. I am truly thankful for this book. It gave me clarity, direction, and confidence in areas where I had been struggling. I will definitely be purchasing another one of her books. Highly recommended. And that was on December 5th. Have must have guide for anyone. And that is for the book. You know what? I could show y'all the book. Thank you, Captain. That's for this book right here. Oh, I didn't know I had questions over here. Hold on a second. Oh, how can real estate agents directly help house veterans? Real estate agents can go get this book right here, A Realtor's Blueprint, The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. Thanks for that amazing question. Okay, what incentives exist for landlords to rent to veterans? It depends on where you are. I suggest you also get some books, because if you are a landlord, depending on how you want, but you know what? I have a master class coming up this Thursday, so you can join my master class and I go into more details about this. Thank you. What resources would you recommend for new advocates? These books right here. One moment, please. All of these books right here. Because advocates need to read in order for them to learn. Powerful stories. Thank you for sharing real impact. My pleasure. All right, so it is now, oh man, 53 minutes that I've been on here. Thank you all for joining over here on TikTok. Hold on, let me flip this camera back around. Flip it around. Okay. All right, I did that. Let me see if there are any questions, comments, concerns. I'm on a board. I am on the board of directors. That's really going to be phenomenal. That's one thing I'm looking forward to doing. And I didn't even know that that's what I was doing. One of my mentors, we met back in 2015, and I was instrumental in helping him get veterans that he needed to do his dissertation for his PhD. And anything he asked, I'm like, I'm on board, because I know he's all about business. It's just some things that you know about people that, they're going to come to you talking unnecessary conversations that don't help to advance anybody. I'm about advancing the kingdom, advancing you, advancing myself, advancing, these homeless veterans, just advancing the kingdom. But you want to talk about, something that's not relevant. Where's that taking us? But for him, yeah, whatever. Yep. I'm on. Yep. Yes. 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 So, Yvette, did you get the email? I sure did. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just said, I'm going to be on that meeting call. And come to find out, I'm on the board of directors, like appointed. I'm like, wow, this is going to be phenomenal for veterans who are interested in getting into business with the VA, with the federal government, with obtaining grants and contracts. I mean, everything that, and I'm really the lowest on this totem pole because these uh, mentors and leaders and other board of directors have been in this government space for years, and have made a great and a significant impact in the industry. The government is a buying machine. Yeah, so the government doesn't make anything, they don't produce anything, they are buyers. So whatever it is that you have that the government can buy, being in this group with veterans who want to be in business, all of that is being taught. I went to one of the meetings and I'm like, oh, and this was before I even knew anything. I was still new in government contracting. So I'm going to all the meetings that I can go to so I can learn how to get positioned within the government to sell my knowledge and to help advance the kingdom, help solve this homeless veterans problem in the United States of America. Because we can. If I'm one person and can train 3 teams and house over 5,000 homeless veterans, then we can all do that across the country. Across the country. And that's what I'm here for. Oh, thank you. And that's what I'm here for you to help you learn. But the only way you're going to do that is to get some books and read. What do you think? Okay, let me answer this one first. And I don't mean to be a smart ass, but sometimes I want to ask you, what do you think? Here's a question. What's one real estate action that creates immediate impact? People to pick up a book and read it and understand what's in it and then take action. Should veterans get priority in affordable housing developments? That's the question I say. What do you think? What do you think? Really? What do you think? So this is open for debate, open for question, open for conversation. Because mine is going to be what my answer is. And my answer is always positive and on the upswing for veterans. So should veterans get priority in affordable housing developments? What do you think? Thanks for that question. All right, it's 6:14. I want to thank you all for being here. If you have not clicked to like to share, click and liked and shared. Please do so at the time. And if you are really interested in wanting to learn how to house homeless veterans, then I know they should. Then go and get some books and read. I think I have to find another way of saying that. I don't know how else to say it. Do I need to have a book tour to talk about these books, to get into the community? Because I thought that's what this was. Because I don't have all that time to be going out every day going, here are my books, here are my books. It's going to come out better than what I could say it. That's why I don't like to be doing all that talking. Go read. Because I think I got that from my daddy too. You want to play games? I'll I'll give you what you gonna get playing some damn games if you don't read. That's how you learn. People say, "Can you be my mentor?" Read a book and let's have a conversation. That's what a mentor is. Not somebody who's going to tell you what to do and then tell you how to do it, tell you where to go do it. I'm like, what? Who? That's no. That's a puppet. No, is that a puppet? That sounds like a dummy to me. I don't treat people like that. You want to learn something, I'm going to treat you like an adult. Go get a book and read it. Then we can have a conversation. No hypotheticals, pure facts. No hypotheticals. I don't like to play games. Not when it comes to housing homeless veterans. So thank y'all for being here. I'm going to end the stream now over on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.